the sound that the ground makes in the Midwest in the night. Put a baby right to sleep and make an old man feel just right. And the way that your lips melt in the lights of Tulsa town turned your love into my water and my willingness to drown. Oh, if you find love, just give me time. All these times that I'm so.
First time in the North Cascades National Park. Very excited about that. Lived in Washington my whole life, been backpacking for 15 years. First time I've ever been here. Kind of crazy to me actually. And very excited about it though. It is looking beautiful in here. It just rained a little bit ago. It's about 7:30, a couple days after summer solstice, so it's still very light out for the most part. Got a couple hours left of daylight. I'm at Bridge Creek Trailhead today, and this weekend I'm going to do a little 30-mile loop back here. We're doing Rainbow Lake to McAlester Lake loop. Tonight I'm just going to do a quick 3.5 miles down to Fireweed campsite. It's all downhill, so there's like nothing difficult about this at all. I think I can probably knock it out in a little more than an hour and a half. But yeah, I'm really excited to get out here. It's a little brisk, but other than that, it's looking beautiful in here. It's going to be an interesting trip. I'm definitely going to have some snow, but I packed very light for this trip, kind of to make it easy on me going over the snow. This might be the lightest I've ever had to pack at this point. I think I'm at 22.5 pounds, and that's including some camera gear too, so it's feeling very light. I don't know what I forgot, but I'm sure I'll figure that out the hard way. So yeah, anyways, excited. Got to just cross the highway, and starting out on the PCT too, so I know it's going to be nice and well kept, and maybe I'll see an evening bear here before I get to camp, and probably just get to camp, set up camp, go to bed. I'm going to probably be up about 4 a.m. or so tomorrow to get a real early start at this. I'll probably have a 15-16 mile day tomorrow or so. So yeah, I'm excited. It looks great out here, so let's get after it. Okay, day one success. Easy peasy. Little under 3.5 miles, 1,000 feet downhill gradually. I mean, absolute cakewalk of a hike this evening. But it was awesome. I mean, it was just so peaceful, didn't see a person. Nice and cool out, a little wet of course from the rain that came through a little bit before I got here, but yeah, made it to Fireweed right about on the timeline that I expected, about an hour and a half or so. Got camp set up, got a nice little cozy little spot here, kind of actually right off the trail, which isn't, you know, my favorite spot, but I'm only going to be here for 6 or 7 hours, so at most probably. So yeah, everything kind of worked out. Saw one large pile of bear scat that appeared to be, I mean, I think it was, I'm almost certain it was from today. If not today, it was yesterday. Never ended up seeing the bear, but it was clearly recent. So yeah, we'll see what tomorrow brings. I mean, again, I'll be up real early, so it won't shock me at all if I spook a bear in the morning. Tomorrow's going to be a hell of a day, so yeah, I'm just going to kind of tuck her in and might do a little writing and probably go to bed here in the next, be asleep in the next 30 minutes or so. If you do come on this trail and you're looking to get out here kind of the later part of the day, like this is an excellent little campsite to do this hike, but also in the 3/4 mile to mile stretch, there is some fantastic camping when you're actually still in the national forest. So yeah, if you just need to get out for you know, a quick hour or two or whatever it is, you know, you actually, it won't even take you an hour. What am I talking about? It took me an hour and a half to get here. But yeah, if you just need to knock out a quick mile or something, you want to get into the woods, 3/4 of the way in here, great camping. Right next to water and stuff too, so yeah, everything worked out. I'm really excited for tomorrow. Probably gonna have some weather. It's gonna rain on me, I know that for a fact. I don't think it'll be anything crazy, but it's gonna rain. I gotta go over some snow, and so yeah, just gonna get in here, like I said, do some riding probably for a moment and pass out and have a hell of a day tomorrow. Morning world. It's the first full day out here. It's been a beautiful morning. It's been a wet morning, not because it rained today, but just there was a pretty good thunderstorm that rolled in last night and soaked everything. Pretty much wet head to toe, shorts, socks, shoes, everything. But I'm sure I'll dry out. Beautiful morning though. Haven't seen a person. A lot of bear scat. Still haven't seen a bear. So we'll see if I run into one. Today I'm heading up over Bowan Pass, which is the pass you can probably see in the background. Rainbow Lake is right at the bottom of that, the other side of the pass, at the bottom there. So I'm gonna head up there. Doesn't look like there's quite as much snow as I might have been anticipating, which will be nice if that holds true. But yeah, this is kind of the uphill slog portion of the hike today. I'm about 2.5 miles in so far. It's been a complete cakewalk. It's flat the entire way from Fireweed to the South Fork Junction, which I'm at here now. So this is where I divert from the PCT onto the South Fork Trail here. Again, heading up over to Bowan Pass and down to Rainbow Lake, and then wrap down to my next trail junction. Quick update. I'm at Rainbow Meadows. Beautiful out here. This is just below Rainbow Lake here. Took quite a bit of effort to get here, I'm not gonna lie. Not to mention the storm I had to go through. From the junction there at the PCT to the South Fork of this trail section was a little more than 5.5 miles. It was about 3,000 feet up to Bowan Pass. It was just a kind of steady climb for most of the entire way up, so wasn't really harder or less difficult than I anticipated. It was pretty much exactly what I expected. Snow didn't turn out to be too big of a concern until I got to Bowan Pass, and about 5-10 minutes after getting there, right before noon, a pretty big storm kicked up, and it started, it was a grapple storm. So it wasn't hail, wasn't rain, it was grapple, wasn't snow. And man, was it really coming down for a good 20 minutes down that pass. It was just coming down hard. Got quite cold for a moment too, so it was just beating up my hands and my legs, and so that was quite an experience. And thunder, as you just heard, has been kind of going off for the last hour or so now, and so I'm sure there's going to be sprinkles. I have a pretty good feeling it's going to storm again like this evening-ish. There was a little storm last night, but yeah, I mean, all is well. It's funny, the nice thing about as silly as it sounds to say this, the nice thing about being wet early in the day is that even when you get more wet, you don't really get too phased by it. Yeah, I just, earlier I needed to get off that pass as quick as possible because it was just coming down. But the further you get down from the pass, the less and less chaotic it is. And while I am absolutely more wet than I was earlier, it's kind of funny. I was thinking about that, like when you're wet in the morning from the dew and the rain the night before and whatnot, you don't really get too upset about getting more wet. So fortunately my raincoat did very well. About the only thing on me that's pretty dry is my shirt, thanks to the coat, of course. So got about 4 miles or so from here. It's pretty easy from here. It's just kind of downhill, and then I've got a little bit of a gradual incline to get to Bowan Camp. Hopefully Bowan Camp is a little more friendly to me than the pass was. Bowan Pass, that is. But yeah, all in all, still been pretty good. Definitely going to start a fire to try and dry out some stuff tonight. Although, like I said, I'm sure that a lot of it's going to get wet by the end of the day tomorrow. So just kind of keep rolling with the punches. These meadows are beautiful though. There's a bunch of campsites from here all the way down to the bottom of the creek, which is the next junction with Bench Creek. Lots of good camping in here and stuff. So yeah, we'll see what else we get out here. Hell of a day today. Just wanted to give you guys a quick recap here. Closing up the tail end of the day. I think I did about 15 miles, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. Around 4,000 up. I can't remember how much down, but hell of a day. Wound up meeting a guy on the trail about almost 3 miles from my camp, and we got to BSing and whatnot, and we just ended up hiking together the rest of the way since he was camping at the same spot, and he also went through the storm with me and whatnot, so we're here sharing all sorts of stories and whatnot. So pretty good dude from California, and it's on a little well, quite a big trip actually that he's just bouncing all around and whatnot. So anyways, been a really good day. Managed to get all my stuff dried out. It's about 8:30 right now, so already had a fire and everything, and ate dinner and the whole 9 yards, and just kind of, yeah, like I said, I'm all dried out, top to bottom, which is great. Just about to get all settled into the tent and get ready for some good sleep and cliff it out of here tomorrow. Tomorrow's looking like it'll be, I think, a little less than 12 miles, so still quite a day, but not quite as difficult as today. Today was definitely a good quality hike for sure. So never did end up seeing any bears, which was surprising given all the scat I saw. But yeah, I'm at a great campsite here now, and a little tired, but other than that, it was a pretty good day, even with the weather. So Alright guys, I'm at McAlester Lake right now. Not necessarily the nicest lake I've ever been to. It's pretty marshy. Lots of fish jumping out there right now, but definitely looks buggy and marshy. Rainbow Lake is certainly much nicer. I'm not sure I really honestly would even recommend camping at this location just in general. It's just, again, not the greatest sight of all time. Not that it's necessarily ugly. It's just, yeah, not the best lake I've ever been to. So on the flip side of that though, today has been absolutely fantastic so far. It's been a flawless morning. A little bit longer uphill up the McAlester Pass than I anticipated from Bowan. A little more than 4 miles to get up and down here to from Bowan to McAlester Lake. So that took me by a little bit of a surprise. It was as tough as expected, which wasn't that hard. It was just about 1,500 feet up from Bowan. But from here, I've got a little under 5 miles, I believe, maybe a little more, downhill. So it's going to just gradually take me downhill, probably close to 2,000 feet. And then from there, I got that 3.5 miles kind of uphill there, just gradually uphill again, that I did the first day out here. But all in all, it's been just a perfect day out here. Weather is just flawless right now. It's been brisk, of course, but that's just because I'm in the trees and in the shade. But sun's coming out. It's blue skies. I haven't seen a cloud yet. And yeah, just a great day. So enjoying the hike. There were some great views at the top of the McAlester Pass, and the meadow up there was fantastic. But yeah, all in all, it's been a pretty good trip. So we'll see what else we got this last 9 or 10 miles, or I don't know if it'll even be quite that far, but yeah, we'll see, something like that. Home stretch.